Stand by for action.
Hello and welcome to Back to the 80s, the podcast that travels back through time in a rose-tinted DeLorean. Yes, folks, we are back. And this week is something a little bit special. Basically, if you're not into football, you're probably not going to want to listen to this one. But we'll come to that in a second. Joining me this week is somebody who is a bit of a football fan himself, which is weird because we're both nerds and we're not supposed to like things like that. But he does. From the Smorgasbored podcast. I see, I got it right.
Well done. Well done.
I've got to make the distinction because there's two of you with nearly the same name.
Yes, it was actually about four because I've had people comment on stuff and it's completely different to my show. So thank you, but you listened to the wrong one, haven't you?
Yeah, and they do keep using Back to the 80s and things. And I keep saying I patented it. I haven't patented it, but one day I will. Yes. And I'll sue them all. Anyway, it's Pete Gaskell, everybody. Hello. How are you, sir?
I am knackered. To put it bluntly, I've moved house over the weekend and moved in with my girlfriend, and so it's all been a bit of up in the air. I've always having to use a Wi-Fi hotspot to record this, so if it all goes, then that's the reason why. But yeah. So, moving house apparently is a very tiring thing, I've learned. There we go.
It's moving house and then it's sort of hiding you're crazy for the first few weeks.
It's far too much crazy to hide.
Having to wait till the middle of the night to fart, it's that kind of thing, it's...
it's like how much can you eke out at any one time, both for fart and your business. But, yeah.
Exactly. Wait till 3 o'clock in the morning so no one hears. I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's...
Give it 6 weeks, nobody will care.
Exactly.
But yeah, moving in this heat as well, that can't be fun.
No, particularly as living room is like a massive amount of open bay window style windows. So we stepped in there and the first thing we decided to do was walk out again and buy a fan. So,
yes.
So there you go. But yeah.
Oh, you all moved in and it all went well.
It did. It's a beautiful house, so hopefully I'll be settled once more.
Excellent stuff. That's what we like to hear. Been up to anything else in the week at all? Any sort of geeky purchases, or probably not, seeing as you're moving in? But
well, just about an hour ago, I had to buy a new adapter for my MacBook. That's probably the most geeky purchase I've done for a while. Not really, although I have been adding up more DVDs, and I have a corner that I'm just going to morph into my own from now on. So, yeah, that's that.
There we go, brilliant stuff. I have been buying. I got a windfall through recently, so because it was a windfall, it was one of those things. I literally don't need to keep any of this, so it's all getting spent. Which is
it's
nice.
A bonus. So what do you do with a bonus? You spend it.
You spend it. You don't. I'm not a saver. I paid off a few debts, which is good. It's what you should do with bonuses. And any sort of windfall, put it towards a debt. Get rid of it. So that all paid off. I bought a few things. So Score Draw, who do replica shirts from the past. I bought the England white Italian anti-shirt. I bought the England red Italian anti-shirt because they haven't got the blue one. As soon as they get it, I'm getting it because that's one Bernard Sumner World in Motion.
It's a red Italian anti-shirt, the away kit, or just Terry Butcher's shirt.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the one he goes. That's his own fucking claret, mate. His own fucking claret. No, that's the away. Yeah. And then you got the third one, which is the sky blue Bernard Sumner World in Motion one. And because I'm a bit of a nerd for shirts as well, I got a couple of Spurs shirts. I got the 94-95, the cleansing.
Oh, the Holston one, yeah.
That's it, yeah. The one they got the white one with basically the Spurs badge on it, and then the purple and blue one.
Was it purple and blue? Which year was the yellow one? Was that?
No, that was 93, I think.
Yeah.
Because after that, it all started being sort of blues and greys and
I think for a bit.
the weird gold colour that we had a couple of years ago that I quite liked, but nobody else liked. But there you go. And then we had the weird white and blue sort of halved one, which used to be our old home kit years and years ago. But anyway, I loved those shirts. I had those shirts around sort of 94, 95. One of them obviously had Klinsman on the back because Klinsman.
And grass stains on the front.
Well, exactly. That's what he did. But so I bought that and I bought a few sort of other bits and pieces as well. But good time was had by all.
Excellent.
But,
it's the best time of year for it as well. I mean, I don't know, just go on a bit of a tangent, but all the kits this year's World Cup are very retro, aren't they? Very retro.
Well, the Nigerian one is, isn't it? It's based on the 94.
German one is from 1990. The away kit is that horrible greeny colour.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I don't want to bring any connotations into it, but there you go. Even ours is a bit like 66, and then it's white and red, and that's about the extent of it. But
little bit. I mean, the most retro ones seem to be Morocco and Iran, which are really plain and simple ones. But I kind of like them. I kind of like the Peru one as well, which is just the
white and red
white shirt with the red. Well, it's the sash down the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
So it looks like they're being sponsored by Red Stripe beer, but.
Yes. Well, that is sort of a really old version of their kit, going back to like the 50s.
It's always been, hasn't it? It's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some really nice kits out this year. The only one I'm not that keen on is the French one because it's almost black and it should be sort of blue.
It should be like a rich blue, shouldn't it? Like a sort of royal blue.
That's going to be a nightmare to play in the sun.
Yeah.
Because it's so dark, it's just going to soak up all the heat. So they just have not thought it through at all of Nike on that one.
Yeah.
But there you go. Uruguay kit's always nice as well.
Yeah. Shame I always draw Uruguay in sweepstakes. I have no idea why that happens. I always do, and I hate them because they play the style of football I hate, and yet I end up having to support them as well.
Oh, you mean what, direct and violent?
Exactly. Typified by Suarez, but there you go.
Well, yeah, it's personified completely by Suarez. I hate to say it as well, but the Argentina kit looks really nice.
Yeah.
But it always looks really nice, the Argentina kit.
It does.
Just a shame we're not supposed to like them, but I do. I do like Argentina. I really like Maradona as well.
I don't. You see, I never have. I'm a Brazilian fanboy, so yeah, I think.
I can't bear Brazil.
You see, I'm a massive Brazilian fanboy. I had loads of Brazilian shirts when I was a kid, so I think you fall on one side of it or the other, don't you? And never the twain shall meet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can totally see the allure of a Brazilian shirt. It's beautiful. I mean, and then if they still played football like they did in the 70s, then yes.
I think I have the 98 one, the Brazil badge and the faces in the back then. That was an absolutely gorgeous shirt.
Such a good World Cup for kits, that 98. Absolutely, just the best, because the England kit was banging as well. And the French kit, and just everything was so nice, and Nike had just got it spot on that year. But we'll talk more of this in a little bit, because we're going to be talking all about World Cups, because it's the World Cup tomorrow.
Yes.
And we will be talking about that, but we're going to have a little break first, before we go into it. I haven't decided what adverts are going to go in next, but I'm going to try and put some football-y ones in there, if I can. I was just saying to Pete before, the one I really want to put in, and the one I really want you lot to look up on YouTube, is the 1998 Nike Brazil in the airport. But there's no point putting it up, because there is literally no sound on it apart from Sergio Mendes playing Mascanada. And as much as I do love that, it's not really that fun for an advert. So go look on YouTube. It's the best football advert ever. Ever. And there's been some corkers, but that's the best one. We shall be back in a couple of minutes. Bye-bye for now.
Disney's DuckTales will return after these messages.
Got any lemonade? If you want. Milk! Ugh! It's what Ian Rush drinks. Ian Rush? Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Now get off. Give me some. Get off.
After 90 minutes of sheer hell, You're gonna get thirsty. This is isotonic leukocyte support. It gets to your thirst fast. Isotonic means it's in balance with your body fluids.
Football. We get nothing but football morning, noon and night.
Shut up.
I'm gonna have it, boys. Confidence is a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as. A morning suit can be avoided if you take a route straight through what is known as. John's got brewer's brew, he gets intimidated by the dirty pigeons. They love a bit of it. Who's that gut lord marching? You should cut down on your pork life, mate. Get some exercise. All the people, so many people, from there you're a long way to fight. You're going to the work you've done that. Because you ain't
My name is Stan. I am a fan, and I'm delighted to eat United.
We are the fellas, the shouters and yellers, and we never miss this crunchy candy crisp.
I am the boss, and some things make me cross, but even I'm delighted to eat United.
We're all delighted to eat United.
And now, back to Disney's DuckTales.
And we are back. Hope you enjoyed the ads there as much as I'm sure that we will.
Yes.
Look, don't look behind that curtain. Keep that curtain where it is. Pete.
Yes.
So World Cups then. Mm-hmm. We'll do a little bit of due diligence, I think. So football in general.
Football in general.
What team do you support? First off,
Man United.
Oh, God. Child of the 90s?
Yep.
Of course you are.
Well, to be fair, the first thing it's actually a weird story. My mother's a monstrous Man City fan and my granddad's a Liverpool fan, so...
Oh, bloody hell. Talk about difficult for yourself.
Well, yeah, the story for this really is I got obviously the great Panini sticker albums, and I think it was a 94 one or 93 one. Anyway, I had one of those double stickers of Ryan Giggs in it. Anyway, so I just flicked through the sticker album. I was too young to really get it at that point, and then just stopped on that one, and then just put the sticker in. I was like, he's going to be my favourite player. This is going to be my favourite team. And funny enough, that sort of stuck then for the next 20, 25 years. So it's and I didn't realise the connotations of what I'd done until about a week later when the Manchester Derby happened, and my mum took me to front.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, for you, it worked out brilliantly because that's the Imperial era.
Exactly. That was the next 20 years, pretty much, was absolutely brilliant. And then ever since you've had to fall into what everyone else has encountered, and but I used to buy your team no matter what. I don't want to be people who's ever going to foot and jump ship, no matter how bad it gets. And well, David Moyes was manager for a year, so that was pretty bad. You just have to.
Well, I mean, I remember in the 80s, Man United were like a nothing.
Oh, absolutely. In the 70s, we even dropped down to obviously what it's now the Championship into what was the second division.
Yeah, Deadly Slaw put you there. Your own player, your
relegated,
own ex-player
relegated by a back heel by Dennis Law in a City shirt. That is particularly cloying.
Although to be fair to him, he didn't celebrate it.
No, and I always
famously,
he just mooched back to the centre circle.
Yep. And then taken off, I think, wasn't he? Pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
But there we go. Yeah. But I was just going to say that. So the 90s, the sort of the
golden
Imperial phase. Absolutely, you got Cantona, you got that sort of golden generation of Man United players. Giggs,
double, against Chelsea. I mean, obviously, you got the class of '92 came in, and Scholes and Beckham and Neville and all those.
Well, you know what they say.
Kids, exactly.
I never came back to haunt him.
He never did. The great thing is, he never really killed his career, did he?
Well, no.
He defined
because
it.
he was very. Other than that, he was a very good pundit.
Oh,
so it's like
he was one of the best.
Because that wasn't was that the year you won the treble?
No, that was 95, 96 when we won the double. It was after we won after Blackburn won the league, and basically Ferguson just torched the squad and said because we lost the cup final as well that year to Everton, which I remember. We torched the squad, kept a core, and then said, right, we've got all these brilliant kids coming through, let's just play them. And, we ended up winning the double that year. And,
Beckham's going off the highway.
That was the year after, I think, yeah.
That the year after,
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, melches into one.
It does.
Because I was desperately trying to sort of not be pissed off that we were constantly mid-table at Spurs.
Exactly. Yeah. See, that's a weird thing, but I always have a soft spot for Spurs because I can't stand Arsenal. So again, it's a sort of dichotomy, isn't it? You like one and not the other. I don't mind Everton, obviously despise Liverpool, but it's one of those things. So I've always had I always like to see what Spurs do, and you generally like to play football the right way. So
yeah, that's always been sort of the problem at Spurs is that
too flighty. There's no solidity.
They like to play. Yeah, so the football that wins you titles is horrible, direct, nasty football. It wins you titles. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Man United, were guilty of that as much as anybody.
Absolutely. I mean, and the master of it is our manager now, of course. Mourinho is the absolute master of it. Less so these days, but when he first came to Chelsea, that was how they won the league. Was he just ground out 1-0 every single week?
Oh, absolutely. I mean. Just before we do get onto the World Cups, how do you find Mourinho? Do you think he's got one more season and then gone, or do you think he'll stay around a bit longer?
I don't know. I think the era of eras with managers is gone now. I mean, Wenger leaving is probably the death knell for that, isn't it? So I think managers these days only last about 3 or 4 years anyway, don't we? I mean, move on to pastures new, and I think that's going to happen.
I don't know so much because obviously Poch has been at Spurs now for 4 or 5 years nearly, and he's had the chance to leave.
I mean, I'm surprised that Levy must have some hold on him there, because I'd have thought if Madrid would come calling, he would have jumped ship, because I think he's took you as far as he can, really.
I don't think he has.
He's never pushed to get that title. I think sort of 3rd, 4th is where you're probably going to remain, because you don't have the muscle to compete with City or Chelsea or Liverpool or whatever.
It depends what happens this season. We have a lot more money than people think we have. It's just
don't spend it.
He's tight as all get out. And I think Pochettino's basically given him an ultimatum this season. He's basically said, I've taken them as far as I can take them with this squad. We need more money. And I think that's why he stayed and not gone to Madrid. Because I think Madrid came calling and I think he's turned them down.
I do believe your first 11 is as good as pretty much anybody's in the division. But it's beyond that. You cut beyond that, and then that's where the problems lie, isn't it?
Something needs to happen, because I think Kane and Ali and all them lot, they will be off.
Kane, Ali, Eriksen in particular.
Well, the rumour is... Yeah. There is a rumour that Madrid want him, Eriksen.
I think Madrid want everybody, though, don't they?
Well, they want him, and they're quite prepared to swap him with Bale. The reason being is that Barcelona want Eriksen.
So they want to get in ahead of him, of course they do.
They want to get him and not play him, basically. But if that means that we get Bale, we would win that deal, frankly.
Yeah.
I love Eriksen, but he's no Christian Bale.
No.
And Bale is getting to the stage now where I think he wants to come home.
Yeah, Bale, I mean, it was terrific that he basically won the Champions League there, because he'd been sidelined by Madrid for so long, treated as an afterthought.
Yeah. But he's got no future there.
No, because Madrid service Ronaldo, don't they? Madrid are Ronaldo's team, and if Ronaldo doesn't like you, you don't play. And Ronaldo doesn't like Bale.
No, because he's
stolen his thunder a bit.
Big, massive crybaby, that's why. Yeah. We shall see him in his last World Cup, and I really hope Iniesta or... I just want some big burly Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos can kick someone's head in. I mean,
I just want him to kick Ronaldo's head in. Just cane him like he did Mo Salah, and that's the end of his World Cup. Exactly. So his last World Cup is spent injured.
Well, the great thing was, I hated Portugal at the Euros because they were a one-man team par excellence. They were terrible, and then we scraped through to the final. Then he got injured, and they actually played all right, and obviously won the whole damn thing. And it was funny that as soon as he got injured, they improved because they all pulled together as a team, and rather than just like give it to Ronaldo and let him win it for us, which is normally.
Then again, they beat Wales, so fuck those guys. Frankly, World Cup's end of the past. We shall start very briefly because I don't remember this one. 82, Spain.
82 was
all
one of
I
the
remember.
Greats. That was one of the greatest World Cups.
I was only I was 6.
I was -5.
I mean, what I know about it, I know in retrospect.
Exactly.
And it was a good World Cup for actual football. England did quite well in it as well. Not brilliantly.
Second round or something, wasn't it? I mean, it was a weird sort of arrangement. It was groups and then groups after groups, wasn't it? And that sort of madness.
Still not as weird as Euro 92, where there was only 8 teams.
Well, there's a reason.
And England still didn't fucking win.
No.
But yeah, basically England, they'd not been in 2 World Cups before that. They were in 70, but they weren't in 74, 78. So the fact that they went out when they did was remarkable. It was a result. It was a good result because they had been shit twice before.
Not too dissimilar to where England seem to fall now. I think there's no real optimism.
There is now. I think there's a lot of optimism around the England team at the moment.
I think we'll be happy with a decent run this time. It's not like this sort of stupid hype we normally get.
Yeah,
and I think in '82 there was probably a similar sort of thing because there were definitely a lot of teams that were better. You had Brazil who were flying, they had Zico and all those great players. You had Italy obviously won it, Germany always strong.
Italy were brilliant.
France was the team that obviously won the Euros 2 years later with Platini, etc. So we were.
France were like the flair team.
Exactly.
They were the like they're thought of now. But England, there was no expectation. And I think
it was
at this
big
point
Ron
in time,
Greenwood as manager back in '82.
Shouldn't have been Ron Greenwood.
Should have been Brian Clough.
Should have been Cloughie.
But
the FA hated him.
Yeah, well, it's too much of a loose cannon, wasn't he? It's too much of a loose cannon.
He would say what he thinks.
Exactly, which is what the FA never want.
Anybody who's ever seen The Damned United, or just there's a great documentary about him just called Clough on YouTube at the moment. It's so good. It just tells you everything you need to know about him. He just didn't care.
Yeah.
And he literally is the greatest manager we never had.
Yeah. I mean, look what he did with Nottingham Forest. Back-to-back European Cups with Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest! And Derby County, all the success he had at Derby County. You know, it's ridiculously successul, but it just wasn't to be. So we had Greenwood, and he was all right, but I mean, he was West Ham man, and he played like West Ham played. You know, which is a bit boring,
dull
not
and
that interesting, defensive-minded.
I seem to remember, because my knowledge of England in '82 was that he didn't play Keegan or Brooking until like the last 10 minutes of the last game, and then we did nothing, and we went out.
Trevor Francis was a big part of the team at that point. Ray Wilkins, I think, was there as well. Just
R.I.P.
Oh, absolutely. That was way too young.
Oh, legend.
It's a good player. Bloody good player. Really underrated player.
Great, played for, again, was a United alumnus. Generally seemed like a good bloke who knew his stuff.
Oh, he was one of those intelligent footballers. So, you know, he might not have been the greatest flair player in the world, but there wasn't much that he didn't know about the game, and it's like Beardsley, although Beardsley was a bit of a flair player, but Beardsley again could read situations really, really well. Wilkins was very similar to that. I think Robson was playing then as well. I think that was his sort of first World Cup.
I think he was. I think he was very young back then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
86 obviously when he came into his own.
That was when he was in his pomp. But sadly, he was overshadowed by another player, which we'll talk about in a minute. But so I mean, they had a decent World Cup, so I really like this time we'll get it right. It's almost like an apology. We'll give it a go, lads.
Yeah. And they did, obviously.
They did okay, and their kit was awesome.
That's the one with red and blue stripes, wasn't it?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it ordered because I love it so much. It's such, to me, that is it's more iconic than the Mexico '86 one, because I thought it was a bit dull personally, but I really like the '82 kit, and it's a shame they didn't have more success in it. But
'82 World Cup, before we move on, best match ever in any World Cup, Brazil-Italy 82. Look it up on YouTube.
Yes.
That was a hell of a match. Two teams just going at it, hammer and tongs.
It was exactly. Yeah, it was a brilliant match in Italy back then. Just they were awesome.
They were, strong defensively because they were Italy, but then they also could counter-attack with blinding speed. And
it was sort of, you could see the formation of what would become the Serie A of the 90s.
Exactly. Sort of a football Italia style stuff. It's like we defended in numbers and then suddenly we get the ball and then just forward, boom, 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 back of the net, done. Job done.
I was actually listening the other day to Josh Willicomb's podcast, Quickly Kevin.
Oh, yes, that's terrific, that.
And it was the James Richardson episode, and it's like, I really miss Italian football,
yeah.
Italia.
James Richardson is an absolute legend. Absolute.
Oh, he was brilliant.
And he got...
still not...
Gazzetta Football Italia was Saturday morning viewing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, when, Sod bloody Going Live or whatever it was, Gazzetta Football Italia is what you wanted to watch.
James Richardson sitting around in various Italian cafes, sipping coffee, reading newspapers and throwing puns around. That's all you needed.
It was great. And Ken Wilson on commentary.
Yeah, and I think Ray Wilkins actually was an analyst, funnily enough.
He was with Peter Brackley.
Yeah, and then of course on the Sunday afternoon, sort of like prime time as it was, they had an Italian match on Channel 4, didn't they, back in the day? Yeah.
It's mental. You get this free. Get it for free. Serie A at the height of its power.
That was the best league in the world at that time.
Oh, absolutely. It was better than the Premier League.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the Premier League had years to catch up.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to watch things like Bundesliga, you had to go on to Sky, but you were getting this Serie A stuff for free. And I'm still a Sampdoria guy to this day.
I was always into Milan.
Well, that's when they were great, then, wasn't they?
They signed in from United quite a bit. I'd talked about before, so I sort of followed his career. You see, so I ended up supporting them.
Yeah, I think it was Sampdoria because that's where Platt went.
Yes,
I was a big David Platt
fan. Yeah.
I just like the name, and I like the badge. It's this old sailor with a pipe. I don't know. I kind of liked it, but I think today. It'd be Sampdoria or Roma. I quite like Roma.
Yeah, Roma play football in a very un-Italian way. They just go for it, don't they?
Yeah, very Premier League. Yeah. I really like it. But, good times. But the other thing that 82 was known for was the horrific tackle that Harold Schumacher made on Battiston, Patrick Battiston.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Battiston as a forward, and he got the ball going forward towards goal. The West German, as it was then, keeper Harold Schumacher decided to tackle him. But he tackled him by basically just colliding into him. His hip hit Battiston right in the face, directly in the face, knocked about 4 teeth out, put him in a coma. A lot of people say he knocked him unconscious. No, he put him in a coma. And Michel Platini actually said that he thought Battiston was killed. It's horrific. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. I put it on the Back to the 80s podcast page as well. It's one of those things that Schumacher was never booked. He was never even booked for it. Never sent off. Never fouled. These days, not only do I think he would have been red carded, but I think he would probably get done for criminal proceedings as well.
There's been a hefty ban for that as well. Hefty ban.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't a tackle; it was just common assault.
Yeah,
it was like when Duncan Ferguson nutted that guy.
Yeah,
it was just a common assault, effectively, but absolutely horrific and changed. Some of the rules in football were changed because of it. So like that's when they first started considering like back passes not to be a thing anymore. And just the goalkeepers were kept on
was much more severe after that. Yeah,
exactly. And that's basically how football evolves when you get things like that happen.
It's not the best way, is it?
Before. Well, you see, back in the day, people wouldn't have been tackled like that because it wasn't the dumb thing. But this is a much more professional era of football.
Anything to win.
Much more competitive. Yeah, competitive. The 80s was brutal, basically. And that was one of the sort of rules that proved it. Was the fact that Schumacher... I mean, apparently he has apologised. But even to this day, apparently Battiston still has a bit of PTSD from it. Which you would. But that's, again... But Italy were the eventual winners. It was Italy versus West Germany. And Italy were the eventual winners of 1982's World Cup. We shall move on 4 years to Mexico 86. Although it shouldn't have been Mexico.
No.
It should have been Colombia.
Was it an earthquake, which is why they moved it of some sort?
No. Basically, Colombia got it, and then FIFA imposed loads of rules on them about the stadia and how they should be, basically. So, like, health and safety, effectively. And Colombia said, well, we can't possibly afford any of this. Can't you just come as it is? And FIFA said, no. So, 1 year after they were awarded it, Mexico were awarded it instead.
I
also think
16 years.
Yeah, 3 times now.
Yeah.
3 times now in 40 odd years. But
70 and 86.
70,
and
86,
we have it in 2022 now, won't we? 2026.
Yeah. Because the next one's in Qatar at Christmas. That's going to be weird.
That is going to be.
That's going to be odd. It finishes like December the 22nd.
Really?
That's odd.
That is strange.
It's going to be weird, isn't it? But there you go. That's what happens when you...
All the money?
Yes, and you put a football tournament in a country that's like blisteringly hot in summer. But there you go. So Mexico took the project on and did very, very well. Like you said, there was an earthquake in Mexico in early 1986, and they thought that they might have to move it again. England were actually the backup plan for that one. Although I'm not sure how that would have worked, considering Heysel had just happened, the Heysel disaster, and basically hooligans had gone. Yes, until the early 90s.
Yeah, was it almost 10 years?
Wasn't far off. I don't think it was quite 10 years. I think it was 92, 91, 92.
I
remember it was Man United with sort of they were the first.
Cup Winners' Cup of 92, 93.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah.
91, 92, because they played in that blue herringbone shirt, didn't they? That the best Man United shirt ever.
No. It'd been 95, 96 United shirt, which had the Old Trafford superimposed onto the background of the shirt. Is gorgeous.
What, you mean not the grey one?
No. I only lasted 45 minutes, didn't it?
That was awful and boring. But anyway, so yeah, Mexico, they did have an earthquake, but the infrastructure was good enough that it didn't make much of a difference, and they were ready to go. And good tournament. It was the first tournament that Maradona sort of came to prominence. He had been in 82, but he didn't play much of a part. In the 4 years in between, he had become a major, major star and would go on to be the star of the tournament. Even though he wouldn't win the Golden Boot, that would have been one Garfield Lineker.
Indeed.
From Leicester.
Yep.
But at that time, playing for Spurs, I think he was.
Yeah.
Spurs or Everton. But yeah, he was a Spurs player. He was so it must have been Spurs. So Everton first, then Spurs. Yeah, and after the tournament, after his Golden Boot, he would go on to play for Barcelona. Under Terry Venables, if I remember correctly. I think Venables was the coach back then. For people who think that Terry Venables wasn't a good coach.
Terry Venables was a terrific manager. I like Venables.
Well, that's who Southgate is saying he wants to be like. He's trying to invoke that spirit of 96. I'm thinking that's a good idea.
I like that, because the England of 96, 98 are the last England sides I really got on board with, and was like, I will support you no matter what. Since we started with Ericsson, and then obviously it got worse in McLaren, not forget that, and Capello.
I liked Ericsson.
Actually, I never did. You seemed a lot. He was a bit of a cold fish to me.
That's what I like. I don't mind that.
I didn't like that. After I liked, obviously, Bobby and Terry Venables.
Bobby Robson was nice.
And Glenn Hoddle was all right before he became a complete nork.
Don't like him. Don't like him at all. No. He screwed Letitia over. I'll never forgive him for it. No. But yeah, Bobby Robson was the England manager, and he wasn't well thought of in that tournament at all. The press really went for him, and they didn't like him at all. And I don't know why, because he was a perfectly competent manager. Was Bobby Robson?
He won the UEFA Cup with Ipswich, hadn't he? So yeah.
I know. No, he's a complete gentleman. One of the last true gentlemen of the game.
Great managers, and one of the nicest blokes in football from what I've read and heard. So.
Never got anything right with names or anything like that.
No, we didn't care, because he's just one of the nice blokes. He's like your granddad managing you, wasn't he? He's like you would.
Oh, he really was, and he will be even more in Italia 90.
Well, exactly. It'd be like, you know what? Yes, he gets things wrong sometimes and he gets confuddled, but my word, he would do anything he asks.
Well, that was the thing. He built up a great sort of relationship with Brian Robson, who, like you say, was Captain Marvel. He was, one of the best captains England's ever had, even though he was constantly fucking injured.
Absolutely.
But
the reason for that is he threw himself into everything, didn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was a brilliant player as well, and really good leader on the pitch, and that's what we needed. But like I said, Gary Lineker was the guy who got the 6 goals, won the Golden Boot, and we did quite well. We got to the quarterfinals, and a lot of people will always say it was Maradona that got us kicked out because of the hand of God. If you don't know what the hand of God was, it was a contentious goal that was. I mean, it was the end of a really good move by Argentina. But Maradona seemed... Because he wanted to win.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Why do that? If you look at Maradona's whole career, he will do whatever it takes to win. Yeah. Including taking of dodgy substances.
Indeed.
But back then, the worst thing he did was knock a goal in with his hand, seemingly. It's because the footage isn't great, it's still kind of difficult to tell what happened. Everybody pretty much agrees that he did knock it in with his hand.
Yeah, he punched it in. In the photographs, it's very clear that he did just go.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that was a bit visual for an audio podcast, but you can get a big drift.
Yeah, I think everybody listening to this probably is and if not, go on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It didn't help that we had fucking Shilton in goal, who I never rated.
You never rated Peter Shilton, our greatest, our record caps holder.
No. Might be a record caps holder, but I know. His penalty technique was awful as well, bizarre. He would wait for them to kick the ball and then go in that direction.
In some ways, that's a good idea in that you don't guess wrong, but you have to move like a cat to be able to stop it.
Yeah, and he couldn't.
Particularly by 1990.
Yeah, particularly by as we'll see in a minute. But he's no David Seaman, let's put it that way. But yeah, so I never liked Shilton that much, and he's a completely dull individual as well. But we did have some good defenders, though. We had Terry Butcher was back. He was great, and Psycho. He was just before Psycho.
Yeah, 90 was obviously.
90 was Psycho with Stuart Pearce.
Kenny Sansom, was he around?
Kenny Sansom would have been. Wilkins would have been back as well. Trevor Stevens.
Yeah.
Really good squad of players. We could have done
John
very,
Barnes,
very well.
Of course.
Barnsley, one of the best players England's ever had.
Yeah. Not one of the best singers, though.
His rapping is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with his rapping. And there was nothing wrong with the goal that eventually did kick England out, which was the second Maradona goal, which proved...
That's what rankles most. It's like he can do something that magical and majestic, and yet then he resorts to other stuff to score. It's like, why not be the hero you should be? Why be this anti-hero villain? Whatever.
It's the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo. You can play like you play. Why do you keep needing to dive and cheat?
And in that case, you'll never be liked. You'll never be liked.
No.
People hate you, and people hate Ronaldo, like you say, for a very similar reason, don't they?
I think the similarity between them is that neither of them really cares.
No, they know they're the best player in the world at
the winners.
Time.
Yeah,
and
I mean, Messi's had his moments.
Yeah,
as much as Messi is...
I mean, we usually put Messi as the angel and Ronaldo as the devil, don't we?
Messi is no angel.
No. As his dad who went down for tax evasion under his head or something like that, I think.
It was Messi who's going down for it as well.
Yeah,
Messi's been done for it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the greatest players in history have a bit of a dark side, because even Pele had a bit of a dark side.
Yeah.
He could be a bit nasty when he wanted to be, and certainly
he's still the best player of the time. Well, yeah.
Oh, that's contentious.
For me, it's Pele that day.
Yeah, I think people will say it's Pele because they perceive he's nicer than Maradona.
I don't think it's that and the fact that he won 3 World Cups, although he didn't take much part in '62.
Not only that, but he scored a goal against the Nazis.
Indeed.
And made Max von
Escape to Victory is a terrific film, and I will fight anyone who says
it's not been on yet.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised it's not been on.
But like I say, the build-up to this World Cup has been very muted this time around. Normally it's everywhere. I can't move for England flags and back home being played or football's coming home or whatever. I
said similar. It's like with adverts again. There's not been that many specific World Cup adverts. There's a few of them. You got the usual Pepsi Coke ones.
Those expectations are muted this time after the disaster of Euros 2 years ago and the World Cup 4 years ago. It's like we're not actually as good as people think we are.
I think there's muted optimism. I think this is a very, very young squad.
Yeah, I think this is built for 4 years' time. Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is good experience to get as far as they can because this squad is likely to be here for a long time.
And I'm happy with that. I'd rather
it's been a long time since we've had that. It's been a long time since we've had that. Because usually, as we said, the lineup does change. Because from 86, we'll go to 90. And in 90, it was basically start again. There was a few sort of key personnel that stayed. So you had Lineker, you had Peter Shilton stayed. And obviously Chris Waddle was now in the squad as well. I think he was in the 86 squad, if I remember correctly.
Butcher would still be there in 90, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Hoddle wasn't there anymore. He'd gone by this point. Terry Butcher was there because obviously he was celebrating when we beat Belgium. But we did have a few new stars, as we said, David Platt from Aston Villa. And of course, just a little player. He played for Spurs. I mean, he was all right. What was his name? Gascoigne?
Yeah.
Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah. I think I've heard of him somewhat.
The greatest player of his generation, who through literally no fault of his own, pissed it away.
Yeah.
But we found out later, much later, much too late, that he has a bipolar disorder. And if we'd have known, he would have been protected. But he was phenomenal.
It was England's George Best, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
And that's the comparison I can make. I mean, a lot of people these days make a comparison of Rooney with Gascoigne, and I think that's doing Gascoigne a disservice, to be honest. Gascoigne at his pomp was superbly talented.
He's phenomenal. There was nobody like him. He literally had nobody like him.
I think well, he never really recovered after that leg break after the FA Cup in '91. Really, it was never quite the same player after that now.
No, because he went to Italy and he did all right. Yeah, everybody's, a lot of people think he didn't do very well, but he did okay at Italy. But that was effectively the end.
I mean, you're 96 like a last hurrah, wasn't it? That goal against
Scotland. He did people forget he did quite well at Rangers. He did really well at Rangers.
I mean, it's in Scottish football, so it was at least a 2-horse race in the 90s, wasn't it? Because Rangers were dominant.
It was
then.
But you still got to play. You still got to be, exactly. good at what you do. And Euro 96 he did brilliantly, but Italia 90 was where he came into his own.
And tournament, wasn't it?
Him and Lineker, I think, because Lineker did really, really well, even though he shit himself.
Yes, which is one of my all-time favourite moments. Just the image of him casually crawling to the side of his pitch is just
dodgy pasta. Because people forget. I mean, there are loads of really, really good documentaries. Gazza's Tears, that's a good. The One Night in Turin, things like that. They're really good. English football had changed in the interim. 86, it was still dogged by things like hooliganism and Heysel, and England fans weren't liked wherever they were, and we had this reputation, and we've still got unfairly, because you will never see hooliganism on a scale that we saw in the 80s, ever. You will never see it, because quite frankly, they all have the passports taken off them, and they're all going on Tommy Robinson marches like they did last weekend, and getting arrested for doing the Heil Hitler sign. So good. I'm glad. They're not over there causing trouble. But yeah, they really had a reputation. But like I say, a couple of things happened. Heysel happened, which meant that we weren't allowed to be in Europe playing club competitions. And the other thing that happened was Hillsborough. And that was a direct result of hooliganism and the fact that football grounds in England had cages around them.
Exactly. It's like
to keep fans off the pitch.
It was so backwards.
It doesn't seem like it was real. You watch Match of the Day now, and you watch games from Old Trafford or White Hart Lane or Ewood Park or wherever you see them.
It's a bit random there, Ewood Park.
I'm thinking 90s.
Yeah.
Blackburn. But yeah, you go to like St James's Park or anywhere like that, or even Hillsborough, Sheffield Wednesday's ground. You will not see fences around the pitch. You do some places like Italy still. But...
that's because of a firecrackers more than anything, isn't it? It's about insanity.
But for those of you who don't know what happened in Hillsborough, I mean, it took a long time for the truth to actually come out, is that 96 Liverpool fans died because they were being hemmed in and crushed. There were too many of them down the stadium end where they were. And
trapped in the cages, as you've been saying.
Yeah, because of inept policing. Took 30 years for that to come out. Even though they knew all along. That's what really annoys me with it. They knew, everybody knew, they just needed it to be proved, and it was proved. But because of inept policing, which the South Yorkshire Constabulary denied, then they blamed it on Liverpool fans. They blamed it on hooligans, and it wasn't hooligans. It was just normal people who were caught up in a really bad situation. But it shocked football into behaving.
Yeah.
Almost.
There also it's like a sort of a passage as well. I mean, English football will be heading towards obviously the Premier League and all the big bucks money that's obviously it's developed ever since. And this is sort of like a precursor to that, and that we've gone past, I said, the 80s and the dark times and all that, and now it's like a fresh start, wasn't it? It's like it was a new time for English football. This is how it's going to be from now on.
It's a proper watershed moment.
Yeah. So let's not think about that. Let's think forward. Let's start to let's put England back on the map again and do well. And 90 was the best we've done in a World Cup since 70.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's Italian 90 sort of epitomised that rebirth of English football, as it were, because it was a fresh team, but the press hated Bobby Robson. He knew he wasn't going to be England manager after this tournament. He was off to PSV, I think he went to. So the press hated him. The press wanted him out. The press hated the English team. This sounds familiar, doesn't it? They didn't give him a hope in hell. They were against them all the way.
If you think about it, we could have won that World Cup. There was no dominant side in 1990. It's an odd one, and usually when you get to a World Cup, there's like one side or a couple of sides that are clearly better than everybody else. That World Cup, there was no one who was particularly brilliant. That seems like a
very level playing field.
Faint phase, but everyone was sort of good to average. So anybody could have, from a group of teams could have won that, and England was in that group.
I think England didn't really perform that well in the early stages. They drew with Ireland, they beat Egypt, and they drew with Holland. Was it Holland? I think it was Holland, wasn't it? But they didn't do particularly well. They scraped through Belgium.
David Platt
won the goal. Brilliant goal, but it was last minute of extra time. And then Cameroon, that was a bit of a dodgy one because they were told that Cameroon weren't very good, and it turned out Cameroon were actually quite good.
Roger Miller. The regiment was Roger Miller.
They were tough, though. Yeah. They were really tough. I mean, you watched that first match with Argentina. Yeah. They were tough.
It's like African football, like the sort of romantic nature of African football, where they don't have organisation and we just sort of run around and enjoy themselves. Cameroon, definitely, that's not the case with them. They knew their stuff.
Wasn't it a German coach? They have a German coach.
We may have done. Didn't Rigobert Song play for them even in 1990? I have a funny feeling he did.
Yeah,
he was around for about 20 years after that.
Yeah, Rigobert Song was just a machine. But Roger Miller was like 42 or something when he was playing for him running the World Cup. He was old, was Roger Miller. But they were really well organised and they were really defensive minded as well. They were a good team, but they completely uncompromising in the tackle.
Exactly. Not an African team as you'd assume them to be at all.
No, because they fucked Tunisia up.
Yeah.
Of Argentina. If you watch it, there's like 5 tackles fly in before he eventually goes down. They were rough. But they shocked the world because they beat Argentina 1-0 in the opening match.
Sort of like, I remember 2002 when Senegal did a very similar thing to France. Oh, very similar thing. They also beat France, who were the defending champions, didn't they? Yeah. Papa Bouba Diop, yeah.
Diop, yeah. That was a good result. There's usually one like that. There's usually an African team that does it as well, which is always good. They were sort of the big announcement of the Africans are here sort of thing, you know, and we've had lots of African teams in World Cups ever since. But lowest number of goals scored in a tournament was Italia 90. Setting up the precedent for Serie A.
They went through a lot of changes, actually, didn't they? That definitely
no back pass.
No back pass.
I think the tournament after was tackle from behind.
Yeah,
that was got rid of.
Yeah.
There were sort of lots.
And then that's when we started looking at different ways to look at extra time and stuff, wasn't it? I mean, it was about 2000 before Golden Goal came in, but we were looking at other things.
Goal 96.
96 Golden Goal.
Because that's how Germany won Euro 96.
Yes, I mean, Silver Goal came in for a very brief period of time, and I never understood that, even when it was happening. So
I never understood that. It didn't last very long, and they got rid of Golden Goal eventually.
I like Golden Goal.
I liked the Golden Goal. I thought it was a fucking great idea.
I think some people didn't like it because it led to teams being more defensive than they would have been because they were scared of conceding that one goal that would knock them out. Which is understandable.
Well, then teams are like that.
But
they're like that anyway. So what's the problem?
Extra time's a waste of time for me. I mean, how often now do you spend half an hour of teams just very, very lightly throwing one or two punches at each other? You very rarely get anyone going for it in extra time, do you?
It's just people looking to go on the break.
Exactly. Basically. Everyone's conserving their energy and half the team are thinking, "Oh God, I've got to take a penalty soon." Yeah.
And I do love penalties.
I do from a neutral's perspective. If it's
even neutral, I get anxious. I love it.
Do you also deviate to one side rather than the other, no matter what, or is it?
I always do. Yeah, I always want either the underdogs. If it's anybody against Germany or anybody against Argentina, if it's like a true underdog side, then I will want the underdog. It's like Lithuania or something. I'll always want them to beat. It's like in the Euros that year when Greece met Portugal. I wanted Greece to win.
I hated that because I would never really get on with Portugal because they don't play a football I like, and Greece definitely didn't.
Greece was just German efficiency. Yeah, but I didn't want Ronaldo to win. So it's like, but in 90, a lot of teams were defensive minded. There wasn't a lot of goals, but England did quite well. And not only that, but Ireland did quite well with my favourite manager of all time. My second favourite manager of all time. My favourite is Cloughy. But Jack Charlton.
Jack Charlton, yeah.
Big Jack, who just do whatever it takes.
I love that. But for that period of time, for the 90s, I always had a great manager who didn't give a toss, and he was a Yorkshireman, Jack Charlton, and Mick McCarthy. It's like that's brilliant. I like that. I like that because there's a very Yorkshire sensibility to how Ireland played, and they lumped it long and gave it the best shot.
But the joke is they had quite a few flair players, like Ray Houghton, for fuck's sake. He scored one of the best goals I've ever seen against Italy in 94. That was amazing. And they nearly had Holland as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just this collective, it was almost like Wimbledon with the crazy gang mentality. They had this crazy gang mentality. They just didn't give a shit.
Exactly.
I love it. At a tournament, you usually get one country like that who just doesn't care.
No.
We're here for a laugh. We're here to have fun. We'll get as far as we get. We're going to have a blast doing it, and we're going to rip.
Yeah, the team that did it.
We don't care how big you are.
The team that did it 2 years ago in the Euros was Iceland, and I have a funny feeling they'll do it again this time.
I think they'll do it again. I think because
they've got them, but they just.
And they've got some good players as well, because they've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, for Christ's sake. He's a cracking player. Yeah. And they all look the same. That's the only other problem I got. They're all massive.
They all kind of walked off a set of 4, don't they? I mean,
yeah. Or Game of Thrones. Yeah. They're all bloody massive Vikings. They're awesome. I love them. I really want Iceland to do well.
I have a suspicion they might. I mean, they're in a really tough group, but...
Yeah, but they don't care.
They don't care. They have a.
They think. I mean, they think they can beat anybody, and that's great.
There is usually a team like that, isn't there? And
Nigeria in '94.
Yeah, Croatia in '98.
South Korea,
and Senegal as well.
And they had a bit of luck, but you need a bit of luck. See, the thing is, I remember when South Korea, they were a bit lucky against Spain, and Spain had 2 goals disallowed and all that, and everybody criticised them. It's like, well, that's not the team's fault. That's the ref's fault. Yeah. they still played. They still got the goals they needed to go through. They still played their hearts out.
I hate people that point at things for reasons why they went out. Like say, this goal was offside, ruled offside, and it wasn't. It's like, well, if your team is so good, why do you not score another goal then?
The only time that really counted, I think, was when Lampard had the goal disallowed. The obvious goal disallowed.
It wouldn't really have made a difference because Germany tore us to shreds in that game. So,
absolutely.
It would have just been an extra goal.
I don't know. It might have changed things. I think the heads went down because everything was against them.
Well, we're already getting whipped before then anyway. I mean, that German side was in 2010. I mean, it got even better 4 years later.
Pete, I'm a massive England mark.
Yeah.
I always think, this time.
I know. That being said, I mean, and I know
I blame Italia 90. I blame Italia 90 completely because they got through into a semi-final and we were just as good as the Germans in that semi-final.
I say, there's no difference really. It was a lot of average to good teams and nothing better than that. So yeah.
But it's just the whole thing. They've gone on about it, and quickly, Kevin, as well. It's like the whole look of that Italia 90 tournament. The colours were really vivid. You had the Olivetti computer graphics, which there's a guy on Twitter, and I forget his name. I'm really sorry, but I'll try and remember. He is a graphic designer, and he has recreated the Olivetti graphics, and Italia 90s lots of different things up, like EastEnders and things like that. So he'll put like graphics on like clips of EastEnders or something, like telling you the score of EastEnders. So yeah, and it's awesome. They had the flags that were shimmering on the computer graphics. You had the little Olivetti symbol, which you don't get things like that anymore because everything's sort of in-house. Everything's in-house now, isn't it? Because
Tag Heuer stuff pops up, doesn't it? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, you get Tag Heuer because they're official timekeepers, but you don't get official World Cup graphics anymore. It's like BBC will do their own in-house with Red Bee Media, and ITV will do their own now.
BBC it just isn't something that it's terrific. ITV will do theirs, and it's terrible. And that's just how it falls, isn't it?
Well, we'll get onto that. Yeah. We'll get onto that in a second, trust me. But so the whole thing, and it's like sort of the kits all were certain type of material and they all shimmered. And they even go on about things like the players looked really tanned and well, and Lineker especially was in his pomp and he was in his prime and he looked brilliant. He looked like the most athletic, un-English player ever to be on the pitch. He could have played for Italy looking like he did. It's just fantastic. And the German kit, I love that turquoise German kit. I really love it.
I hate it because of the connotations of a defeat, you see. So yes.
I hate the fact that they beat us, but at the end of the day, I do love a good kit. So I'm a bit of a football kit nerd, so I just like it. Plus the Germans all look like porn stars as well.
Mm-hmm. Rudy Voller in particular.
Who I still think should have punched out Patrick Rijkaard.
That was one of those horrible moments again, wasn't it?
That's when... See, I always have a problem with Holland because everyone says, they're brilliant. What they mean when they say Holland are this flair team, they mean Holland in 1974.
Yeah. Well, 88
I've always done...
88 was that Van Basten Hoyt team.
But by 90, they were just thugs, like they were in 2010. Because that was awful. That final, that 2010 final, should have been one of the best World Cup finals in the world ever.
And it was one of the worst.
It was terrible. It wasn't Spain's fault either. It was Holland. They were just kicking lumps out of Spanish because they knew they couldn't win.
Interesting point.
So they thought, let's just injure as many players as we can.
When has there last been a good World Cup final?
The last one wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad.
Argentina's game plan was just to stop Germany's free-flowing attacking.
2002.
2002. Brazil, Germany. That wasn't bad. That was a good one. That was a good tournament, actually. I really liked 2002.
98.
98 was one-sided because of Ronaldo.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yeah.
France were playing brilliantly. Zidane was on form. You know?
Yeah, France in 98 and then 2000, Euro 2000, France were at the absolute peak, wasn't it? And Zidane was at full flight. And
then Zidane nutted that guy.
Yeah, in 06, yeah.
Hilarious. I was ace, that was. He didn't care. I do like Zidane.
Yeah, I mean...
But that French 98 side do good. 90s final was fucking awful. Yeah. It was so bad. Yeah. And it could have been so different. I think if we'd gone through it, would have been...
given it everything. I mean, it would have been like the revenge for 86, wouldn't it?
It would have been brilliant. And it was just... Psycho missed his penalty and he didn't get redemption until 96.
And I feel terrible that for 6 years everyone went on and on about it being Stuart Pearce's fault. And Waddle made an absolute mess of his penalty. but because Pierce took his last, it was Pierce. It was a problem, and it was a decent penalty that he hit. Just the keeper guessed the right way. Waddle just ballooned it.
Yeah, it was awful. Waddles was, and he did it again. Yeah. It wasn't the first time he did it. He did it again. And Waddle was a terrible penalty, but he wasn't one of the first 5, was he? Oh no, sorry, he was.
He was. It was.
It's the second time he wasn't.
Yeah. It was that fourth, was he third or fourth? Then obviously Pierce was fifth, wasn't he?
No, Pierce was fourth. He was fifth. Yeah. But then the Germans were never going to miss. No. And again, Shilton's penalty.
You know, Germany have never ever lost a penalty shootout at a World Cup or European Championships
because they practice it and we don't. Because we always say, "Oh, it's about attitude." It's not about attitude. It's about putting penalties away.
And don't do anything stupid penalties either. I hate those Panenka penalties. You know, they do a little chip or stop and then restart. It's like just run up to it and if it goes wrong, it's hilarious.
No, I love it when it goes right.
I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
Oh,
it's so
somebody
arrogant.
Did it at Sportaid. Somebody did it. Matt Wright did it at Sportaid. Soccer Aid this weekend. He was fantastic. He did that.
I hate it. It's so arrogant. I loved it. I loved it at the Euros. Was it the Euros 2 years ago? Italy. I forgot the name of the player who did it, but he did one of those, and then almost tripped up as he hit it, so it went skying miles into the air, and it never came down.
I know when it's done right, it's fantastic.
Oh, I think it's love a bit of arrogance. I don't. I rather him just run up to it, one smooth motion, and just welly it as hard as you can.
I don't mind a little bit of arrogance. That's why I like Cantona so much. I think some players
I like Cantona,
but
I hate it.
Kind of a little bit of arrogance. There's nothing wrong with a little bit, as long as it doesn't turn into cocky. That's the difference.
The difference between arrogance and confidence is if you can back it up. If you're just talking a good game and you actually are rubbish, and that's just arrogance.
The best arrogance I've ever seen was Cloughie with Don Revie when they did that interview. Now, obviously, in the film itself, it makes it look like Clough's on the back foot. But if you actually watch the calendar interview, then there's no sign of meekness at all in Cloughie. He doesn't give a shit that he's just been sacked. So Revie's on about, you say you want to win the championship better. How can you win it better? I only lost 4 games. And Cloughie said, well, I'd lose 3. He says, now, you do understand what I'm saying, don't you, Don? And Don Revie says, yes. He says, oh, good lad. And that, to me, that's arrogance. That's fronting it. That's amazing. Incredible scenes. Love it. But I think England, they were just unlucky with that penalty shootout. And I think that especially Pearce haunted him until the year 96 when he was able to put that one
got that incredible redemption moment, wasn't it? And
come on! Fucking come on! And have you ever seen Frank Skinner about that?
Yes.
He was in the crowd and said, where are we going? Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. But yeah, and that I say that haunted him. Didn't seem to haunt Waddle as much. I don't think Waddle cared.
I don't think he did, no.
I think Batty definitely didn't care, apparently. When he missed against Argentina in 98, he was in the showers and was suited up and gone by the time the rest of the players came.
Ridiculous. And Paul Southgate, again, it's haunted him ever since. So it still affects him even now.
But that's maybe a good thing, because it means he wants to do well, you know?
We'll be practising penalties this time around.
I have a feeling he will leave nothing to chance. But yeah, after 1990, we had Euro 92, where England didn't do so well because we had Graham Taylor as manager, and bless him, as good a club manager as he was, I don't think he quite got the grasp of the international game.
He's out of his depth was never best. Was never for anyone better than Taylor there. I mean, with a slight exception of possibly Steve McLaren. I mean,
he was such a nice bloke, and he was so.
McLaren. That's it.
He just wanted to do well for the fans, and he wanted to do well for the players, and he wanted to do well for England. But it was the Peter principle. I just don't think he was suited to the international game. Club management, he was fantastic, and there were very few that could beat him. But
this is Taylor, it's not McLaren, isn't it?
No, not McLaren.
I was going to say.
No, this is Graham Taylor. Yeah. And Graham Taylor was a wonderful, wonderful character and a wonderful manager, and he was very unfairly treated by the British press.
Let's not go into that, because it was very wrong how he was insulted. I mean,
it was disgusting. And they did that documentary about him as well, where they followed the England team round, and it was basically a hatchet job. They got access they would never be allowed these days.
You
no
can't
way.
ever get into a dressing room or into the training camps, anything like that. But it's
not now.
Completely because, well, that's the reason why, isn't it?
Well, they did a lot of it in the 90s, didn't they? Because they did a program called Premier Passions. Do you remember that one with Peter
I
Reid?
don't, but...
It's on YouTube. Yeah. That's the famous one where you got full access to Sunderland's first season in the Premier League. And that's where you get the image of the sweary managers and a lot of the cliches. That's where it comes from, is that programme.
Just a completely random aside, just about to remind you, have you ever seen the interview that Roy Hodgson did? I think he was manager of manager of Liverpool at the time. And he's swearing like a trooper. And it's very weird to see Roy Hodgson swearing his head off.
There's one that's not so weird. It's called Walter Smith versus Chick Young.
Right.
And it was for when Walter Smith was in charge of Rangers. Yeah. And it's Chick Young asking him whether he thinks that Laudrup and Bolly wouldn't be good enough to play in Europe. Right. So Walter Smith gets very angry with him. Never raises his voice once, whispers all the time, but he's sweary as fuck. It's so funny. And menacing, because you think, like, Walter Smith, he's scary.
Proper angry Glaswegian.
His thing is, he's not angry. He's
menacing with it.
Menacing is the word. So it's like Taggart, sort of, he will rip your fucking head off and shit down your neck. It's hilarious. But, so sadly under Graham Taylor, we didn't qualify for the next World Cup in 94. Admittedly, I blame Ronald Koeman. Because he shouldn't have been on the pitch. Because he fouled David Platt, I think it was.
I think it was, actually.
David Platt was on goal. Should have scored in the qualifying game against Holland. Koeman brought him down, was allowed to be on the pitch, wasn't sent off or booked, and then scored a free kick. After he shouldn't have done, because Paul Ince charged the first one down. Fairly. So, fucking Koeman. I was so happy when he got sacked by Everton.
He was arrogant. He was very arrogant.
He's just a twat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a twat, is Koeman. He always has been. I don't like him at all. Admittedly, England weren't. We're in a weird position because, you do get that period. Italy are going through it now, where you get all your best players,
isn't it? They all age at the same time, don't they? I mean,
yeah, we had an England team that, like you say, aged at the same time. They all retired at the same time.
It was before '96 when the new generation came in, and Shearer was getting his prominence, and the defence started to get better, didn't it? With obviously Seaman in goal and Adams.
Well, Taylor wasn't a fan of Shearer. He was more of a fan of Ian Wright. Now, as good as Ian Wright was domestically, he wasn't really an international player.
Shearer was one of the best strikers England ever had.
Was.
I mean, and actually, obviously we've talked to him at length already, but Lineker is still, I think, immensely underrated for just how good a striker he was. He was the best striker in the world at the time. I mean,
that's who Harry Kane reminds me of.
Yeah.
He's very much like a young Shearer.
Oh, very much.
Because he's an old-fashioned centre-forward.
Yeah.
Who's very strong, very powerful, but he's also quite a good playmaker.
Yeah, and doesn't do... I mean, yeah, he puts the shift in, but he's always where he needs to be when the player's at the right time. I hate seeing strikers drifting out onto the wing or helping out defensively when you think, if they get a break on, you should be in the box right now. You should be ready to
that's what Lineker... Yeah. That's what Lineker got accused of, wasn't it? Goal hanging. And he wasn't. He worked a lot harder than people think he did.
When it comes down to it, you want your centre forward somewhere near where they can do some damage. You don't want them chasing the ball around. You want them, if you can, to be able to get on goal in a moment's notice.
Well, ideally, you want two that are sort of really good at that and have a good understanding. Because
two strikers, Glenn.
4-4-2.
I don't think I've seen a 4-4-2 in this. Will we actually see anything in this time like a 4-4-2? Everyone must be doing the same 4-3-3 or 4-5-1 or whatever it is.
I think it's 3-5-1 we play, isn't it?
Yeah. 3-5-1? We just have 10 players. 3-5-1.
Oh, wow.
We have 5 at the back now.
3-5-1-1.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It's 5 at the back in a general rule. I think it's 3 centre halves and 2 wing backs. I mean, it's just which seems excessively defensive. But
you had like Christmas tree, didn't you? I was like the Christmas tree formation of the diamond, which is what Svenja and Oakson liked, wasn't it? The diamond formation. But then you got sweeper. Do you play with a sweeper?
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a proper sweeper for a good long while since Italy. I think Italy perfected
Italy.
Yeah,
it's Italy, and then Argentina played it as well, didn't they? Sweeper, because Pochettino I think was a sweeper for a bit.
He was actually,
in 2002. It didn't work because he brought down Joe Cole, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I think so.
Or Owen. Is either Cole or Owen?
Yeah. Which was obviously
we brought him down. Which Beckham's penalty, because I've forgotten it was him, and I was watching clips, and it's like, Jesus, that's Poch. He's got long hair and he looks really bedraggled, and it's like, oh no, I don't like it. Take it away. It's weird. Don't like it.
No. Age has done him well.
But yeah, Kane's like that, and I think personally, he should not play Rashford and not play Welbeck. He should play Vardy, because I really think Kane and Vardy might be a good team. I'm thinking what we need is Sheringham. Yeah. We need that sort of a partnership.
But this day and age, having two strikers is looked down upon, isn't it? It's all right considered.
Fuck that shit. We should be like Mike Bassett, shouldn't we?
Exactly.
England are playing 4-4-2.
There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned 4-4-2, but in this day and age of flashy formations and whatever, it's almost considered Neanderthal to play that way.
I think we're just old. I think that's what it is. I think we're just getting old.
No, I know. You have to keep up with all these modern NAS formations where everyone can take over everyone's position, play total football, as it were. I mean, I just imagine Frank de Boer's wonderful managerial stint at Palace. We tried to get Crystal Palace playing like Ajax, and rather spectacular.
Could have worked if they'd given him more time. I feel a bit sorry for De Boer.
It wouldn't, though, because that was a Sam Allardyce, Alan Pardew, Tony Pulis team. You can't get them to play like Ajax.
Tonka. But yeah, we weren't at 94, were England. Ireland were, so everybody became Irish for a bit, and Guinness sales went up. And do you know what? USA 94 was a cracking tournament, apart from the final.
Yeah.
The final was terrible.
Yeah, 94 was the first tournament I really properly remember.
94 was football kit heaven.
Yeah.
Because they were wild and they were wonderful and they were weird, and you had that classic Adidas kit with the they used it for Liverpool later on with the 3 stripes down your ribs.
Yep.
And the best version of that was the Romanian version.
Yes.
The yellow one.
Was it 94 or 98 where the entire Romanian team bleached their hair blonde?
That was 98, I think.
Yeah, that's an image I remember now. That was very...
But 94 was Ilya Dumitrescu and Petrescu. Georgie Hadji. You also have Bulgaria with Stoichkov.
Yeah. They actually did really well, didn't they, Bulgaria? Was it third or fourth?
Third or fourth.
Bulgaria.
I think what they in their last place playoff with Nigeria.
Yeah.
I think Nigeria came third.
Yeah.
Because they were the surprise package of 94 with Nigeria. Yeah. They were brilliant. But that's when Kanu played.
Nwankwo Kanu. Was JJ Kocher part of that team?
Yes, I think so. Because they won the Olympics.
They won it in 96, didn't they? When we Olympics
they won it just after, didn't they? Because they were a brilliant team with the Nigerian team.
Oh, yeah. That was the definitive African team, wasn't it, for many a year?
Oh, absolutely. Kanu was just... I mean, this is a guy who was ill as well, because he'd had a hole in his heart. And he had it fixed. Did he play for Arsenal for a bit?
He played for Arsenal for a few years, yeah. It's actually just before they got to be Invincibles. It's like sort of
just before, I think.
Sort of alongside Bergkamp and that sort of team, yeah.
Oh, there's a player.
Oh, Bergkamp, class, absolute class.
But yeah, there was some. I think because we had no stake in it, a lot of people didn't watch USA 94.
I like that because I think then it just opens it up then, and you don't have those sort of prejudices. I mean. I've got a bit of that this time, I have to say, because I'm not expecting England to do massively well, and I won't get overly concerned if we don't. I'm open to see just what's going to go on. And
I think it's going to be an interesting one because there's no Italy and there's no Netherlands. They didn't qualify. So you've got two massive teams there.
Monstrous size not in it. And a lot of teams that you wouldn't expect. Panama.
Yeah. Costa Rica's back as well, and they tend to be quite entertaining.
Matches with them, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun all the same.
It's Messi's last one. It's Ronaldo's last one, because so Messi's going to want to be pulling sort of amazing stuff out of the bag.
And for what about the Spanish side, there's their last go again, isn't it? Iniesta's final bow. Ramos.
I'm going to be really sad. Iniesta is one of my favourite ever players.
He was class as well after he obviously left Barcelona this year. You see that he stayed at the new camp until 3 a.m. just sitting there on his own.
Such a good player.
That is, yeah. I mean, he's gone off to China for reasons of presumably financial nature, but
money.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, at least he didn't obviously didn't ruin his reputation, right? He was talking about going to City or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm never going to play for anyone else in Europe with Barcelona.
I got very angry, or nearly got very angry with somebody on Facebook the other day because, no, they're all overpaid idiots. No, they're paid far too much. It's like, you realise they retire at the age of about 38, right? 35, 36, 37, something like that. You realise this is the most amount of money they're ever going to make, so they have to be paid a lot of money. Plus, it's a market-driven... it's a skill-driven market, so people are prepared to pay that. Oh, no, please, I don't want to be paid 100,000. Of course you do. You make as much money as you can, and that's it.
How many players go on to a role afterwards? I mean, yes, some go into management, some go into punditry, but
a lot
it's a tiny percentage that do, if you think about it.
Yeah, most of them have to get proper jobs.
Even the top players, the absolute greats, a lot of them don't go even into either. They don't go into management at all, or probably
people who played in the 90s who now have to do jobs like being a postman.
Exactly.
You know, to make ends meet, because they weren't paid the massive amounts of money that they're paid these days. They should be paid a lot of money for what they do.
Some players, there's some really sad stories. I mean, Kenny Sansom at the moment, it's horrible what's happened to him. But the issue, of course, is that they have all their money at once. How you spend it is up to you, whether you've got a head on your shoulders or not, whether you flush it or throw it all away. Or...
I think they're better than that now. I think in the 90s, like sort of Gaz's generation, they Paul Merson and all that, they did
just spin up.
They weren't protected. Yeah. It's the thing, they weren't protected. Whereas I think because of, ironically enough, a club like Manchester United, where they were massively protected.
Enormously so. Ferguson wouldn't allow any stupidity, and if he did show signs of art, David Beckham out the door. You want to go serve your ego, you don't do it at my club.
Yeah, it's not only that, but I think he basically taught them how to spend the money as well. You know, there was massive emphasis placed on things like that, and I think a lot of the world's top players like Messi, you know, that you don't tend to see players self-destruct like they used to, like Maradona in '94 when he had that famous celebration, which I still think is pretty fucking awesome, where he just runs at the camera and he goes, "Rah!" Yeah, no,
he was on more than adrenaline.
He's on massive amounts of coke because he looks like Shadow out of Gladiators. So he was taking all sorts. He said at the time, he's like, "Oh right, well no, it's my trainer's fault because I have this drink. I can't remember what it's called now, but Fuel or something like that. It was called. I drink this drink in Argentina, but it's a different recipe in America. It's got this steroid that shouldn't be in there in America. It doesn't have it in Argentina." And it's like, well, yeah, we don't. It's not that. It's the mountain of cocaine that you've snorted just before you're running for like 3 days after you're supposed to stop, sort of thing.
Wasn't that celebration actually word to it? Because couldn't you see like the inflamed nostrils and stuff because he went back close to the camera? Or is that just?
I think that's just hearsay. I think it's just you can tell he's on some sort of stimulant, shall we say, because of just the way he reacts, the anger, the testosterone in him, and that it was a bit.
Is it a bit of TT?
So he was sent home, which is a shame because he was playing really well, and the Argentina away kit back then looked really cool.
Was that dark? Was it the dark blue one?
That dark blue one,
jazzy bit on the top, yeah.
That was epic, wasn't it? But the Italian one was good as well because it was they had the little Italian flags in the collar.
I always like the Colombian shirts, particularly if worn by Carlos Valderrama, who is one of the greatest players I've seen because of his hair.
Because, of course, '94 was when Escobar was shot dead.
Yeah, of course.
By some bodyguard of a mob boss.
Indeed.
Who just thought he'd lost a lot of money on them being beaten by the USA.
Yeah, because of his own goal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got an own goal. He was shot like 2 days after.
That's just horrible. Absolutely horrible for that to happen. Right?
Absolutely terrible. But the Colombian kit was, I think it was Adidas who did it again, wasn't it? So
I think the kit this time around is a throwback to that one with the yellow and the jazzy sort of, not stripes as much as like sort of a V zigzag. Yeah. Zigzag sort of.
They're doing. There's a lot of retro style kits. Yeah. The Spanish kit this time around is a back to the one in the 90s.
The red with the yellow sort of.
And it's got the blue stripes down the side of it, the blue sort of checks, and the Belgian one has got the sort of the Fair Isle pattern across like they had in 1984. So it's like, there's some cracking football. I'm all about the football kits.
You're watching even the poor matches because you just want to have the kit porn going on.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as a poor match. They're all good.
Save that this time tomorrow, Glenn. Okay, after watching Russia, Saudi Arabia.
I reckon that might be good.
I hope it is, but my confidence levels are low.
I just want everybody. I want especially Russia just to fucking go for it. Just like
they're Russia. Have they ever played
nothing to lose? No, they're rubbish. Even when they were the Soviets, they were rubbish.
Is the manager still Gus Hiddink? Or is he wrong?
No, it's some other guy now. Hiddink he's somewhere else now.
Is he managing this World Cup?
I don't think so.
He's like the man you plug in if you want to win the World Cup. I was half expecting him to become Spain's manager, in all honesty. Well, you put Hiddink in.
I thought it was going to be Pochettino. I thought they were going to fuck me over on that one, aren't they? I reckon if he manages anybody, it won't be Real, it'll be Argentina.
That makes sense.
But there you go.
Or potentially Barcelona.
Go on then. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup this time around?
I'm going to stick my neck out and say Brazil, because I think they have a point to prove from 4 years ago from that humiliation.
Well, they did get 7-1 beat, didn't they?
I have a funny thing, because Brazil and Germany are separated in the draw, they should be if they win their games as they expect them to do. I sort of want it from a sort of a dramatic point of view for them to come back to play each other in the final and Brazil to win it.
Yeah.
So I'd say them, but I think there's only like a poor 3 or 4 sides who can really win it, isn't there, this time?
I reckon Germany's got a good show.
Yeah, Germany have to be up there. Spain.
I kind of want.
Off that.
Yeah, Spain possibly. I don't know about Spain now. That's the thing.
Well, who knows? It might be better, it might be worse. Who knows?
I kind of want Argentina to do it because it's Messi's last World Cup.
We're not got the players, though. And they've really struggled. I mean, you never know, struggled, but they got absolutely torn apart by Spain and friendly recently, didn't they? So
yeah. So I mean, I kind of that's purely sentimental because I do love Lionel Messi. He's
for one of the great players, it's like the definitive step to become known as the world's best player. You have to win the World Cup. That's why Pelé and Maradona. The top tier, then you've got like Cruyff on the next level down, and then you've got Messi and Ronaldo.
Well, Cruyff never won it, you see.
Exactly, so he's not considered quite Pelé, is he, or Maradona?
He's not on that level.
He should be, for the sheer technical ability he had, he should have been. But
he changed the game. And I do think that Messi is on that level. I would like to see him win it. I don't want Portugal to win it, and I don't think they will because they're not very good.
They're not very good.
But I think... Heart says Argentina, head says Germany. I think Germany are going to do it.
I mean, and to be fair, as much as obviously they're Germany, they play football in such a beautiful way at the moment. This last, under Jurgen Löw, they just play football of just such a high level, don't they? And it's rare to be placed in Germany, but the way they play football right now is just beautiful to watch.
It's fantastic. They're such an organised, well-drilled team.
Free-flowing attacking. I mean, any side that can have a sheer balls to leave Leroy Sané out of a squad is just...
Wow. That's it.
So who have they got? I mean, I don't follow the Bundesliga as much as I'd like, so I don't know some of these players, but it's like, if we can leave him out, who the hell have they got in their locker?
Exactly. Second question. Yeah? Where do you think England will end up?
I'm going to pump for the usual and say quarterfinals. We've got a really easy group, I think. And I think we've got an easy...
Banana skins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't think Tunisia and Panama will offer too much of a threat.
I don't think Belgium will.
Belgium, it's weird, because you've got any side of De Bruyne, Hazard or Lukaku as a front three, should be, looking to win it, but...
Yeah, but on the other hand, you've got Roberto Martinez as well.
And I love Bobby Martinez. Anyone who can mix a Spanish accent and a Wigan accent into how he talks is just... It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but it wasn't that long ago. He was managing Swansea City.
Oh, Wigan.
Wigan, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, I think...
They're a collection of individuals. Belgium have been. I will be very surprised if they're going to get any better than that. Because Hazard is a bit of a one-man show. De Bruyne is... I don't like De Bruyne. I think he's...
I don't like De Bruyne.
I love David Silva. I think Silva is my favourite player at City because he is City. That guy is... another one who's probably reached his last World Cup. Will reach his last World Cup. He's terrific. De Bruyne... Yeah, he was pushing himself over Mo Salah as the best player of the season, and that's just bollocks because Salah's been a revelation.
Salah's amazing.
Salah's an utter revelation and the best player I think.
I hope he gets a game.
I think, yeah, I hope so. I would not put him in. If Egypt,
I won't put him starting.
I think Egypt will go through from that group because it's Uruguay, Russia, Saudi Arabia. Egypt with Salah in that team should do all right, but you wouldn't put him in against Uruguay because they would kill him.
Especially Suarez. I love him.
Quarters. Yeah, I think after that, I think the group that we play is a weak group. I think is it Group H is stupidly weak. So we should get through that, and then it'll be like Brazil or Germany, somebody with that ilk, and that's where we reach the end of the road.
Do you know? I'm going to say semis.
You think we can do it?
I think semi. I think if they go in with the attitude they've got, whereas no one likes us, we don't care. Which is the attitude. 90. If they go in with that Euro 96, we're one unit. It's amazing how far you can go. Look at Wales. Who would have expected Wales to go as far as they did in the Euros? Being a together team counts for a hell of a lot in a tournament because if you're just dealing with random egos, and that's only going to take you so far. If you've got a team that believes in each other and trusts each other, and they do, because they all hang out. Yeah. This is the difference. And they did in Italia 90.
What's in my age group? They're all friends.
They're all contemporaries.
And they're young enough, so they haven't had their heads inflated by all this. I mean, that's what did me with Eriksen's time, is that we always talk about being a golden generation and the best players we've had in decades, and it got to them, I think. They suddenly believed that they were.
I think with Kane especially, putting him as captain is a fantastic idea, because he's just a young bloke who wants to do well. He's a bit Bobby Moore-ish.
He's not the brightest of men, really.
But, it's Bobby Moore. He's all about the three lions. He's
going to give it all, isn't he? I mean, there's enough.
He's a worker. He's a grafter. And
do that.
Thing is, he's also one of the best strikers in the world.
Yes. If not, I mean, who's better than him at the moment? Would you count Ronaldo as a striker?
Yeah. Bale, probably.
Lewandowski.
But Bale ain't there.
Lewandowski.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that.
But Kane is he's very, very Alan Shearer, very Gary Lineker, very Bobby Moore. He's all about England and England doing well, and whereas I never really bought that with Rooney. Rooney was in it for himself.
Look, there's a lot of players there who are young enough just to give it everything. I mean, I've become. This is very strange because you asked me a year ago, and I said I've become a big fan of Jesse Lingard lately. Because he does...
Yeah, Lingard's great.
Because he does that. I mean, and that's something Mourinho has done very well, is he's brought him on. He just gives everything. Well. Henderson, who gets a lot of flack. Henderson gets a lot of flack, and I don't like that, because I think he's good at what he does. Yeah.
He's very good at what he does. He's not Cahill as well.
I think
I'm a big fan of Gary Cahill.
Yeah. And some people, I think the problem with Henderson, some people think he's Steven Gerrard. I mean, expect him to do what Gerrard did, and he isn't that player. That's not Henderson. No. He's a veteran carrier, but he does it well. Cahill. I was gonna say Eric Dyer as well, but
Dyer's great.
I don't know if he's going to be playing. I mean,
he might very well be. I mean, the backbone of that side is basically Tottenham players, so I'm happy with that. Yeah. So
Tottenham's youth system is terrific at the minute for getting good quality young English players through.
We've got a lot of players in international squads as well, because obviously Lloris and all them lot, and Davinson Sanchez and all places like.
And Lucas Moura, is he in the Brazil squad?
Probably. I think so. Yeah.
Is he? Because that Brazil squad is stupidly talented as well, isn't it? I mean,
I've got a couple of Argentinians in there as well.
Yeah. Vertonghen.
Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Good Tottenham show.
Sergio Aurier won't be in the France squad. He can't be.
No, he isn't.
Absolutely terrible.
He's not great.
I've not seen anyone mess up a throw-in that often since me practicing FIFA on a new console.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There we are. So you say quarters, I say semis, but I'm hopeful. I'm England all the way.
Optimism.
Brilliant stuff.
Optimism. And I like Southgate. I like him a lot. He talks of.
I love Gareth Southgate. He's a really good, safe pair of hands, Bobby Robson type, and I think that's what we need.
I'm just a nice bloke again.
Stop taking chances on people who aren't very good managers. Because Roy was never that good a manager.
No, McLaren, let's not talk about
McLaren was shit.
And I never liked Capello. He always seemed like he was just using it as a stepping stone to do something else.
He was. He wanted to be Italy manager.
And he never did.
No, because he's shit. He's not. He doesn't play like Italians.
No.
He plays like a clogger.
Yeah.
And Allardyce can fuck himself. I cannot bear Sam Allardyce. I can't bear the man.
You can't really count him as England manager. He managed one game.
100% record.
Yeah, that's the thing. You'll be down out.
Like the Spanish manager who's just been sacked 100% win record.
Exactly.
Never been beaten.
Exactly.
Anyway. It'll be bloody Arsene Wenger by the end of the year anyway, so it doesn't matter. Brilliant stuff. Pete, It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Where can we find you online?
I'm in the middle of a hiatus because I've been moving house. We are Smorgasbored, so you can find us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Acast. Just look up Smorgasbored. We have a number of shows already going and a few more to come on there. You can find us on Twitter at SmorgasbordPod, and you can find us on Instagram at SmorgasbordPod as well. You can email me at smorgasbordpod@gmail.com. Very importantly, Smorgasbord is spelt with an E in it, as in boredom. Otherwise, you are messaging somebody else. Just FYI.
It's not Smorgaspod, that's two other guys.
Indeed.
Exactly. If you want to find me, you can find me personally. It's going to be at Cymru Nerd Cave on Twitter. So at Cymru as in Wales, and then Nerd Cave as in a nerd cave. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's Glenn Jakeman. Please do send me a message if you're going to obviously add me on there so I know who you are. If you want to find the podcast on Twitter, it's at BTTE Pod, and it's on Facebook at facebook.com/BTTE Pod as well. Excellent stuff. Well, the songs this week, it's very, very simple. We're going to be playing the theme to 1986's ITV coverage, Aztec Gold, because, you have to.
Awesome.
And then ITV won that year. And then the time... 1 year, yes. Well, to be fair, I think they won with Gloryland as well. It was much better than America, personally. But there you go, because it was so cheesy, it has to win. But in Italia 90, there was only one station that won, and it was BBC with Nessun Dorma, so we're going to be playing that, complete with BBC Sport Ident as well, because you have to. Like I say, Pete, been an absolute pleasure. You'll come on again, won't you?
Oh, always.
We'll come on after the World Cup, and we'll do
a retrospective. A
retrospective about how wrong we were. And it's amazing when Nigeria lifted the cup. Yeah. We never saw that coming.
Yeah. Panama doing so well.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe Peru ended up beating everyone. But incredible scenes. Anyway, thank you again, Pete. We'll come on again. As for you lot, bye-bye for now. See you later.
shadow